Today on Nursing Matters, individual contributor power, how to reach the top pay scale without becoming a manager. I'm Christina, and this is your Daily Dose. Let's get into it. Before we dive into today's topic, let's take a quick look at what's happening in nursing and healthcare workforce news. Our first story today focuses on workforce planning and compensation. Healthcare leaders continue to monitor proposed changes that could affect labor costs and workforce strategies across healthcare. While the details are still evolving, one thing remains clear. Organizations are looking for nurses who bring specialized skills, adaptability, and expertise to increasingly complex care environments. So what does this mean for your career? Well, the more value you bring through specialized knowledge and proven expertise, the more opportunities you'll create for yourself. Employers are looking for nurses who can solve problems, improve outcomes, and help teams succeed. Our second story highlights a concern many healthcare executives continue to share: finding and retaining experienced clinical talent. Healthcare organizations across the country continue to report challenges filling specialized nursing positions and maintaining strong staffing pipelines. That means the demand for nurses with advanced skills, specialty experience, and strong clinical judgment remains incredibly high. And that's exactly why I wanted to discuss today's topic. Because one of the biggest myths in nursing is that the only way to advance your career is to become a manager. And that's simply not true. At some point in almost every nursing career, someone asks, "So when are you going to go into leadership?" And that's a fair question. Healthcare does need great leaders. We need nurse managers, directors, educators, executives, and clinical leaders who help organizations deliver excellent patient care. But here's what I want every nurse listening today to understand. Leadership isn't always a title, and management isn't the only path to career growth. One of the biggest misconceptions in nursing is that if you want higher earnings, greater influence, or stronger career opportunities, you eventually have to leave patient care behind and manage people. In reality, healthcare organizations need two different kinds of talent. They need exceptional leaders, and they need exceptional clinical experts. The strongest organizations have both. As someone who has spent more than 20 years recruiting healthcare professionals, I can tell you that some of the most sought-after nurses I've ever worked with never managed a single employee. What they did manage was expertise. They became the nurse everyone trusted, the nurse who could solve complex problems, the nurse who could mentor newer staff, the nurse who could step into difficult situations and help stabilize them, the nurse who made the entire team stronger. And healthcare organizations value that tremendously. That's because hospitals, health systems, home care organizations, clinics, and healthcare employers aren't simply looking for people to fill schedules. They're looking for people who improve outcomes. People who strengthen teams, people who enhance patient experiences, people who help organizations succeed. When a nurse develops a highly specialized skill set, gains expertise in a difficult area, earns respected certifications, or becomes known as a trusted resource, everyone benefits. Patients benefit, coworkers benefit, employers benefit, and yes, the nurse benefits as well. That's where career leverage comes from. Not from having the biggest title, but from creating meaningful value. One of the reasons I wanted to discuss this topic today is because I think too many nurses underestimate the impact they can have without becoming managers. If management excites you, fantastic. Go for it. Healthcare needs great leaders. But if your passion is clinical excellence, specialty practice, education, research, informatics, procedural nursing, critical care, quality improvement, or becoming the absolute best at what you do, that is not a lesser path. It's simply a different path, and it can be incredibly rewarding. When recruiters and hiring managers evaluate candidates, they're often asking a few key questions. Here's what that looks like. Can this nurse handle complexity? Can this nurse contribute quickly? Can this nurse strengthen our team? Can this nurse help us deliver exceptional care? Can this nurse be trusted with challenging situations? Notice what's missing from those questions. Nobody's asking whether you've supervised 20 people. They're asking about impact. And impact comes in many forms. That's why specialization matters. Think about some of the areas that consistently create opportunities. It's critical care, emergency nursing, operating room nursing, NICU, behavioral health, informatics, case management, research, quality, advanced practice. These roles require expertise that takes time to develop. And because they're harder to replace, organizations place tremendous value on those skills. Now, that doesn't mean everyone should immediately run out and earn another degree. Career growth should always be intentional. If becoming a CRNA, clinical nurse specialist, aligns with your goals, wonderful. But advanced practice isn't the only path. I've seen bedside experts out-earn supervisors. I've seen float pool nurses earn premium compensation because of their flexibility and expertise. I've seen specialty nurses become highly sought after because they developed skills that employers needed. The lesson here is not to chase a specific role. The lesson is to understand what value looks like in the marketplace and then build more of it. One of the smartest things you can do is begin documenting your professional growth. Track your certifications, quality initiatives, committee participation, process improvements, preceptor experience, also specialty training. Track outcomes you helped achieve, because when opportunities arrive, evidence matters. The nurses who can clearly demonstrate their impact often have stronger career conversations and more options available to them. I also want to challenge you to think differently about authority. Authority isn't about having the loudest voice in the room. Authority comes from trust. It's the nurses people seek out for guidance. It's the nurse who stays current on best practices. It's the nurse who can teach others. It's the nurse who consistently demonstrates sound judgment. That kind of authority creates opportunities throughout your career. So here's my challenge for you today. Ask yourself one simple question. What is one area of expertise I can deepen over the next 12 months? Maybe it's a certification, specialty skill, becoming a preceptor, learning a new technology, or maybe it's becoming known as the go-to person in a specific area of practice. Whatever it is, commit to growing it, because the nurses who continue learning, developing, and creating value build extraordinary careers over time. And whether your future includes management, advanced practice, education, research, informatics, or expert clinical practice, remember this. There is more than one way to build an extraordinary nursing career. This episode is brought to you by the RN Network Job Board. Looking for your next opportunity? Visit rnnet.org to discover nursing jobs, career resources, and employers actively looking for talented nurses just like you. That's rnnet.org. And if you're hiring nurses, we'd love to help you connect with our growing community. If you enjoyed today's episode, please like, share, subscribe, and follow Nursing Matters wherever you listen to podcasts. That's your daily dose. Share this with a nurse who carries more than they show. I'm Christina. Keep showing up because nursing matters. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Nursing Matters Daily Dose. Are you interested in more career resources? Then hop on over to the RN Network at rnnet.org. Also, while you're at it, hit that like and subscribe button and share this episode with one nurse who really needs to hear it. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.